Alrighty, guys, welcome back to Keith's Hot Takes, and I have my friend Matthew here. He's gonna be on my show today. He's on the special Keith's Hot Takes Thanksgiving edition. Matthew, how you doing today, bro?
I am great. We are close to Thanksgiving, which means we are close to eating a lot, which I clearly do well, as you can see. And we are very close to Black Friday, where you save a whole bunch of money, which is something I also do very well. When I buy things, I like to save money. So those 2 days are very good. Very good for me. Very good for Matthew.
Well, speaking of Thanksgiving, I had Mike on last week, and I got some of his
Oh,
favorite
God.
Yeah, that was a very entertaining show to say the least. I got some of his Thanksgiving favorites. So, do you have any like favorite things you like to eat on Thanksgiving?
Okay, I don't know if this is sacrilegious, but I don't love turkey. Like, I'm not a huge turkey person because
I'm not
for the
either.
most part it's dry, and like I can eat like a couple pieces of turkey on Thanksgiving and maybe a little bit the day after, but that's good for me for the year. Like I don't have to have turkey the other 363 days of the year. Um, like stuffing is the best. Like stuffing is the best. Stuffing, dressing, whatever you call it, it doesn't matter. So I love stuffing. That's another thing that you don't have ever throughout the year except for Thanksgiving. So you got to love
True,
that. Um, I'm a huge mac and cheese fan, which I know
for
you
sure.
are as well. But
Yes.
see, here's the thing: like my family never really made mac and cheese for Thanksgiving.
Mm,
I don't know why, just never did. But no, stuffing is where it's at. The gravy has to be good. Like the gravy
sure.
kind of pulls the whole meal together, right? Because you put it on the turkey and you put it on the stuffing and you put it on the mashed potatoes and you put it on everything. So if the gravy's not good, then the dinner's probably not going to be good, and then you've screwed
True.
everything up, and then all your family members are going to be upset and throwing rolls at you. Which, by the way, rolls very good hot with butter.
For sure. Well, last week I told Mike my favorites were ham,
Oh,
mac and cheese, and yam casserole with either pecans, uh, with what's it, brown sugar mixed in,
oh yeah.
or
Mm.
or with marshmallows. One of those, and then gotta have some tater pie for dessert. So so I thought we have a little fun before we get into talking about football. Um, and the first game we're going to talk about is simply called the game between number 4 Ohio State. They're visiting Michigan. Michigan hasn't beat Ohio State since 2011. It's been a long time coming. And Ohio State has won 15 of the last 17 matchups. They didn't play last year. Michigan was having some COVID issues, and that probably saved them from having another. Yeah, COVID. It probably saved them from having another embarrassing loss to Ohio State. uh, so, will this be the year that Michigan breaks this long streak of losing to Ohio State?
In a word, no. Uh, I say a little bit disappointedly because I'm doing the game on USRN. Check us out Saturday at noon. So I'm doing that game, and I want it to be a good game. I think it'll be a semi-competitive game. The last 4 or 5 or so have just not even been games. They've been
Mm-mm.
bludgeonings. And
Yeah.
Ohio State's putting up 45 and 52 and 63 and whatever else on Michigan. They haven't even been close. I think it'll be closer this year just because Michigan is better. And I mean, we'll find out Tuesday night where Michigan's at in the playoff rankings. They better not be ahead of Cincinnati, even though I'm preparing
Facts.
myself that they will be. But even if they're above or below Cincinnati, it doesn't matter where Michigan's at because if they win this game, they will put themselves into the Big Ten championship game, likely against Wisconsin. And then if they win that, Michigan will be in the playoffs. Same for Ohio State. If they win this game, they'll play in Indy, likely against Wisconsin. If they win that, they'll be in the playoffs. So where they are at in the rankings won't matter heading into this game because it's all in front of them. But I do think Ohio State wins. They've got the best receiving core in the country. Chris Olave is ridiculous. Jackson Smith and Jigba, I remember seeing him play a few games last year when his name wasn't very known. And you could tell last year that he was going to be something big, and he is. And CJ Stroud has been terrific the last handful of games. He did not look great the first couple of games. He has started to look really good. And I tell you what the big difference is, Keith, is that the defense gave up so many yards and so many points to begin the year to Minnesota, to Oregon, which the game they lost. They even struggled against Tulsa, third or fourth game of the season. They made a change inside the coaching staff on the defensive side. It's changed the team completely. Now they don't have to worry about getting into these shootouts anymore because their defense isn't allowing it. But if you can't get in a shootout, their offense is good enough to win them. I don't think Michigan can win that way. Michigan's got to keep them below 24 to win, I think. And
Good luck.
I don't think that happens. I mean, Ohio State put up 24 and a quarter like we seen on Saturday against Michigan State. So, Michigan fans, God bless you. God be with you on Saturday. I know how much you want to win this game, how much you want to knock your rivals out of the playoff. I don't see it happening.
I don't either. Just for the simple fact, like you said, Ohio State's receiving core is just so talented and ridiculous. And CJ Stroud, he's been playing much better. The only way I see Michigan having a chance in this game is if they're play keep away from Ohio State's offense, because they have been really dominant on the ground. But I don't know if how long they'll be able to do that. And Ohio State's offense is just so explosive. So I'm sorry, Michigan fans, but I think you're getting ready to lose to Ohio State again. Yeah. So next we have the Iron Bowl, which is number 2 Alabama going to Auburn, and Auburn has won 3 out of the last 4 in Auburn. If Auburn had Bo Nix, I probably would have picked them, but without Bo Nix, they lost to South Carolina last week on the road. I just don't think they'll be able to contain this very talented Alabama offense. Bryce Young, I think he's going to have a big day. I think he'll make a Heisman statement, and I think Alabama will go on the road and probably win a very competitive, close game over Auburn. Usually the games at Auburn are usually crazy. So hopefully we can have a close game, but I think Alabama will win.
Yeah, I've been looking at this game for a few weeks when we thought Bo Nix was going to play in it. And, Bo Nix can do one of two things. Bo Nix can go 10 of 40 for 93 yards and throw 4 interceptions. Or he can complete 80% of his passes, go for 350, 2 touchdown passes and 2 touchdown runs, and Auburn could sprinkle some pixie dust over the game and maybe win it. Without Bo Nix, I don't see how that's possible. Much like Michigan's going to have to do to Ohio State, Auburn's going to have to, as you said, possess the ball, hold on to the ball for 35, maybe close to 40 minutes. You're going to have to steal possessions too. And what does that mean? That means your defense forcing takeaways, surprise onside kick, maybe something to steal a possession here or a possession there. That's the only shot they've got. Alabama's interesting. They've got the loss to A&M. There's no doubt Alabama is a top 5 team. I don't know if they're number 2. I think Ohio State's probably the second best team in the country to Georgia, in my opinion. But Alabama, if they win this game, which they're going to be a heavy favorite, I think I see 19-point favorite, I believe it was.
Gracious.
They should win this game. I don't know if they win by 19. Who knows? They should win this game. Then they've got Georgia in the SEC championship. And now the narrative is beginning. Alabama with 1 loss, if they lose to Georgia in an overtime game or by a late field goal, could they still get in with 2 losses? If you're going to fall on that, you're going to have to look mighty impressive against Auburn, and you're going to have to score the style points that everybody's been talking about with Cincinnati. Everybody's like, well, Cincinnati, they've got to win by 30 and 40 points. Well, if you're going to try to get Alabama in as a 2-loss team, they got to beat Auburn by 30, 40 points. I don't know if that's possible, but I do think Alabama wins by a comfortable margin.
Well, speaking of the college football playoff, I think in 2 weeks we'll have the final results. Who do you think is going to be the final 4 teams in the playoff this year?
Oh goodness. this takes some projecting, but let's see. I think that Georgia is better than Alabama, but Alabama's somehow going to beat Georgia in the SEC championship. Nick Saban's going to work his magic, and somehow Alabama is going to beat Georgia. So we're going to have Alabama at 1, Georgia at 2, Ohio State down here at 3 because they're going to beat Michigan, and then if whoever they play in Indianapolis, probably Wisconsin. They always whip Wisconsin in the Big Ten championship game. They'll end up at 3, so I guess they're actually over here paired with Georgia. That'll be a great game. And then the 4th team over here better be Cincinnati. Better be Cincinnati, which I think it will be if they beat ECU this Friday, which, by the way, won't be easy.
That's going to be tough on Friday.
Yes. ECU is much better this year. They're bowl eligible for the first time in 5 centuries, whatever it is. The game is at ECU on Black Friday. You know, they know how to throw a good party down there.
For sure.
And there's going to be a party. They're going to be tailgating. Games at 3:30. It's on ABC, nationally televised. ECU is going to want to show out. Cincinnati should win. They're the better team. Then they get Houston in the American Athletic Championship game. Houston is really good. They're ranked. That could go either way. But I'm going to say because I want it to happen, but I want to speak it into existence, that Cincinnati is down here at number 4 come selection day. And you're going to have Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State, Cincinnati.
Yeah, I'm really hoping Cincinnati is going to be in. Let me see. I was thinking that Georgia's going to beat Alabama, or I hope so, because I'm really afraid that they're going to find a way to keep Alabama in it. But to ensure that Alabama's not in it, I'm hoping Georgia can beat them. So I have Georgia at 1. I'm thinking Ohio State's going to be 2. And then I got Cincinnati at 3. I don't know if the committee will ever put Cincinnati that high, but I'm hoping they'll do the right thing. Let me see who the 4th team. I'm trying to think of who would be left out there.
It'll probably be Alabama.
You probably because I don't know who else it could be. Maybe the winner of the Big 12. Maybe I don't know. I was really upset. Wake Forest, they lost a couple of games and they won't be in it. That was really unfortunate. So I don't know who I guess they probably will find a way to put Alabama in there because I don't really know. I don't want to see Notre Dame. I don't want to see Notre Dame in it.
No.
I've seen that's probably who it would be though, because they won't lose another game looking at their schedule.
No, they better not lose to Stanford. They better not. Stanford just got crushed by Cal. And Cal's horrible.
They better not. But I'm thinking Notre Dame will probably get that 4th spot, or then they may give it to Alabama. I don't know. But
I mean, they might as well give it to Alabama, because if you give it to Notre Dame, they're going to get killed. If you give it to Oklahoma, they're going to get killed. And if you're going to give it to Oklahoma State, they're going to get killed. Oklahoma always gets killed. Oklahoma State's not going to beat Oklahoma because they always get killed by Oklahoma. So might as well just give it to Alabama.
Yeah, for sure, because I'm tired of seeing Notre Dame in the playoffs. I don't even watch that game because I know how it's going to end.
Tired of seeing Notre Dame, period. But, take up your complaints with NBC.
And now, they're on Peacock sometimes too. So we won't get into that. But I would love to see an Ohio State Cincinnati matchup. 2-3.
Wow.
That'll be real, because Cincinnati has a good defense, and going up against those Ohio State receivers, that would be really interesting. So I really hope
the state of Ohio would lose its mind if that were a playoff game.
I would really love that as a 2-3 matchup. And then, potentially Georgia defense versus Ohio State's offense. I really would love to see that.
Boy, wouldn't we all?
Yeah, so we're 2 weeks away. I'm really nervous about tomorrow. Hopefully Cincinnati's in the top 4. Somehow I feel like they'll put Michigan or Notre Dame ahead of them.
They're going to put Michigan ahead of them, which is going to be a catastrophe, because then Michigan will go on Saturday and lose to Ohio State by 33, and then they'll have to find another reason to keep Cincinnati out.
Yeah, I just want to see a group of 5 team in it. It would just, give them a chance. It's football. Anything can happen. So um, I'm prepared to be let down again. So we'll have to see. Let's transition to the NFL now. And we're going to start out by talking about the Thanksgiving games. So the Lions have been playing on Thanksgiving for forever, since 1934. Their record on Thanksgiving is 37, 42, and 2. They have 2 ties. They have bet the Bears on Thanksgiving 18 times. They're 10 and 8 against the Bears. The Lions in their last 11 Thanksgiving matchups, they're 4 and 7. They did have a 4-game winning streak from 2013 through 2016. They haven't won one since then. And I don't know who's going to be playing quarterback for the Lions. So I don't think they win this week. I don't know who's going to be playing quarterback for the Bears either. Justin Fields got hurt. But if it's Andy Dalton or Nick Foles, they should be good enough to beat the Lions. I mean, the Lions have been really close. But I got to take the Bears just because I don't know who's going to be playing quarterback for the Lions, and neither one of them have been doing a good job, taking care of the ball. So I wouldn't be surprised if they won on Thanksgiving, but I'm just not going to take a risk and pick it.
I mean, listen, I'll tell you one thing that I've learned this season. Dan Campbell, who I think can be a little bit crazy sometimes, really crazy. He has earned my respect for whatever that's worth this year, because he really cares deeply about this team. He is trying every single week to win a game. He is getting every drip of water from this wet rag of a team. He is squeezing it to its very last drop. And they've come close. They tied against Pittsburgh. They've come close plenty of times. Yeah, I don't know who plays quarterback for them. Chicago is a better team, as bad as they are. They're still a better team. For God's sakes, just don't watch this game.
I probably won't. Hope it's some basketball on.
Yeah, well, there will be. There'll be plenty of. There's going to be a parade on. There's going to be a dog show on. There's plenty of Thanksgiving stuff. Spend some time with family. Don't watch this game, because both teams are bad, but the Lions are worse, and the Bears will win in what will be mostly a boring game. The only reason to watch is to listen to the GOAT, Joe Buck, on Fox.
Joe Buck deserves a better game than this.
Yes, he does, but so be it. He is still the GOAT, and he might be the most entertaining thing in this game.
Probably. So I don't know if I'll be looking at it. I mean, it is feast week in basketball, so I know there'll be plenty of basketball on, some holiday tournaments and stuff. So if you have to help out in the kitchen, this will be a good game to help out in the kitchen. Yeah, we have the Las Vegas Raiders traveling to Dallas to play the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys also play on Thanksgiving every year. They've been playing since the 1960s. And they're 31, 21, and 1 all time on Thanksgiving. Since 2010, they're also 4 and 7, and they're 2 and 0 against the Raiders, but they have not won a Thanksgiving game since 2018. Last year was really hard to watch, especially that fourth quarter. My Thanksgiving dinner almost came up with how poorly we played with Andy Dalton as the quarterback, and we made a lot of stupid decisions, and our arch rival, the Washington football team, walked the dogs on us, literally. So I'm thinking this year against a Raiders team who's just fallen all apart ever since the Henry Ruggs incident. Their other corner, he got released after video surfaced him doing stupid stuff. They just haven't been right. So I think the Cowboys will win this game, because when the Raiders have struggled is when their offensive line hasn't been able to protect Derek Carr, and when their defense hasn't been able to get pressure on the quarterback, because if they can't get pressure on the quarterback, their secondary isn't very good. And as we saw yesterday, if you can get pressure on Dak Prescott, that's pretty much the best way to slow down this Cowboys offense. He got sacked 5 times yesterday. Max Crosby and Ngakoue, they've been really good this year. So hopefully the Cowboys can protect Dak, and I'm hoping we can bounce back and get a big win against the Raiders on Thanksgiving. I just think our defense, they played really well yesterday. It's going to be a challenge trying to stop Darren Waller. He's one of the best tight ends in the league. But I think our offense will do enough, and I think our defense will get a lot of pressure on Derek Carr, and I think we'll get a nice win on Thanksgiving, and I'll have a great Thanksgiving. How about you, bro? How do you see this one playing out?
The Cowboys better win. I mean, the Raiders. I mean, good Lord. First few weeks of the season, they were playing Russian roulette every single game. They were trying to lose, and then they found a way to win. They beat the Ravens and they beat the Dolphins in stupid ways. And then you have the whole John Gruden thing, and then you have the Henry Ruggs thing. There's so much that's been going on, and there's only so much a team can take, right? It can only take much. And they got killed by Kansas City. They lost to the Giants. I don't know how exactly you do that. And then they weren't competitive against Cincinnati. The Cowboys better win. They're coming off a tough loss. They didn't find the end zone, only scored 9 points. And this was supposed to be the game that proved everyone that this Cowboys team was different, and they didn't show up on offense. But still, they should win this game. If they don't, then they've got real problems. Cowboys should win.
Yeah, because they'll have to worry about trying to snap a 2-game streak in a place that's not very easy to win in New Orleans. So hopefully we take care of business, because that way we'll be 2-2 against the AFC West. So fingers crossed. And our last Thanksgiving game is the Buffalo Bills going to the New Orleans Saints. Woo, both of these teams really need a win, to put it nicely. Surprisingly, Buffalo got the doors blown off them yesterday by the Colts. Jonathan Taylor ran crazy on the Bills. I was not expecting that. The Saints are 3-0 on Thanksgiving. Do you think they go to 4-0? I mean, they haven't looked good since Jameis went down. So how do you see this one playing out?
This is another game, kind of like the Cowboys game. The Cowboys should win, and if they don't, there's problems. This game, the Bills should win, and if they don't, there's real problems. And I think there's problems that's starting to boil up in Buffalo. They lost to Jacksonville, which 9-6.
That was
they lost
crazy.
to Jacksonville. Then they blew out the Jets, but who doesn't? And then they got crushed by Indianapolis, who I think is I feel like Indianapolis is better than what most people are saying, but still, I thought the Bills would win, and they weren't even close. But the Bills are starting to regress back to what they were so much of last year, which is Josh Allen throwing the ball 40 and 50 times, because not only do the Bills not have a running game, they don't even try to run the ball. And that happened far too much last year. I felt that's what kept them from being competitive against Kansas City in the AFC Championship game, is that they just quit running the ball, and they've done it again. So I don't know where this thought is. Josh Allen is a supreme quarterback. I love Josh Allen. I'm like his number one fan. I lead the fan club of Josh Allen, but you can't send him out to go out here and throw the ball 50 times and be the team's leading rusher. Nope. You're not going to win football games like that, no matter if it's Josh Allen or Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady. No one can do that. And I'm starting to get very worried about Buffalo. That said, they should win. So I'm going to take them to win. If they don't, you might as well give the division to New England. Those two play in a couple of Monday nights. That's going to be an enormous game. In fact, the Bills and Patriots play twice in like the next 4 or 5 weeks. Buffalo cannot be caught looking ahead. They've got to be focused on the Saints, because the Saints are weird. They can pull out crazy wins out of nowhere. I mean, a team that looks horrible on some weeks will then go out and do what they did against Tampa,
Yeah,
and
that
then
surprised me.
and then like yesterday give up 40 to Philadelphia. No one gives up 40 to Philadelphia. I mean, no disrespect to the Eagles, they're a pretty solid team, but they're not. They shouldn't be scoring 40 on anyone. So the Saints are weird. So you never know what you're going to get out of them. Buffalo really needs to win this game because all of a sudden they are half a game behind New England in the division.
Yeah, I also took Buffalo. I know the Saints, they're probably going to play really desperate. They've lost 3 in a row since they beat the Bucks. But yeah, like you said, Buffalo, they really need a win really bad. More than the Saints because I think they'll go farther than the Saints after the Saints lost their quarterback. They just haven't been the same. Alvin Kamara hasn't been there, and they're like the Panthers. When the Panthers don't have their running back, they're not the same team. And the Saints without Alvin Kamara, they're not the same team. So I don't know if he'll be able to come back on a short week. I doubt it. So I think Buffalo, they're going to be desperate. Uh, they took quite the beating yesterday. So can they get themselves up off the floor and go on the road and get a big win? I hope so, because like you said, this is a desperate. They're desperate for a win. They need one. So I hope they can beat the Saints. So yeah. So we'll move to our Sunday games now, and the Pittsburgh Steelers are traveling to Cincinnati to play the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals are trying to do something they haven't done since 1998, which is sweep Pittsburgh. Um, I don't think it's going to happen. I think Pittsburgh is going to find a way to win on the road. I really wanted to pick the Bengals, but I just can't see the Steelers getting swept by the Bengals. I really think it's going to be a really close, physical, classic AFC North type of game, and I think the Steelers find a way to contain this very explosive Bengals offense, and I think they'll get a big time divisional win on the road.
Yeah, I kind of basically fall on the same line you do. I really want to pick Cincinnati because I think they are the better team. But there's just, for some reason, Pittsburgh's not going to get swept by Cincinnati. So, yeah,
Unfortunately,
I'll keep it short. Pittsburgh.
yeah, I just don't see it happening. I really hope they can pull it off, but I just can't see it happening. This is probably going to be one of the better games Sunday. The Tampa Bay Bucks playing the Indianapolis Colts. Can the Colts come back to earth after such a big road win against Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Bucks? I really want to pick them, but I just can't see Tom Brady losing another game on the road because they haven't been really good on the road. They've been explosive at home, blowing the doors off people, but they've been really shaky on the road. So I think the Bucks need to win a road game like this to build up their confidence because they haven't been good on the road. They've suffered some bad defeats on the road. And I just don't see Jonathan Taylor being able to do what he did to Buffalo's defense on this Bucks defense that has given up some rush yards, but they're normally not a team you want to run the ball on. So I got Tampa here. So yeah.
Tampa's got the number one rushing defense in the league. Taylor's going to get some yards. You're not going to keep him from getting yards. He might be in the MVP conversation. He's probably not going to win it, but he should at least be in that conversation. I don't know. I do. I think the Colts are better than what people are making them out to be. Because when Jonathan Taylor's running like he's running behind this offensive line, which was reconstructed a couple of years ago, and now it's probably the best in the league. It's at least one of the best 5 offensive lines in the league. You protect Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz is not a guy that's going to go out here and throw for 400 every game, but he can get things done in situational football, off play action. Everyone sells out to stop Taylor. Then Wentz can throw it over the top. He's got some playmakers to throw it to as well. I think the Colts are better than what people are giving them credit for, but I do think Tampa wins this game, especially if they don't beat the Giants. Tampa's looking a bit iffy, but remember, this is basically the time of year that they started to pick it up last year, was around this time. Yeah. So we'll see if they do it again.
Yeah, I don't see him losing tonight to the Giants. I just can't see Tom Brady losing 3 games in a row. That'd be crazy. But they haven't looked great lately. So we'll have to see in about 30 minutes or so. Next, we have the Carolina Panthers visiting the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins have won 3 in a row. Cam Newton's big homecoming return didn't go as planned yesterday. I'm a little concerned about the Panthers defense because they gave up a lot of rush yards yesterday. Washington was able to control the clock and really keep the ball away from Cam in that offense. And I'm gonna take the Panthers just for the simple fact they're in the playoff hunt. They can't afford to lose too many more if they want to make the playoffs. So I think the Panthers are going to be desperate. They know they can't afford to lose too many more, and I think they get a big time road win at Miami Sunday.
I literally have no idea what's going to happen in this game. Both of these teams are incredibly difficult to figure out. I think I'm going to take Miami.
Okay.
But I'm not confident in that in any way. But I think I'm going to take Miami. At the very least, though, it should be a very competitive game.
Yeah, it should be because both teams. I mean, Miami. I don't think they'll make the playoffs in the AFC because the AFC is just so stacked. I think it was last week we had 12 teams in the AFC that were over 500, and that just goes to show you how competitive it is in the AFC. So I'm hoping the Panthers can pull it out, but I'm not confident. Another great 1:00 game is the Tennessee Titans visiting the New England Patriots, and this could be for who's going to be the number 1 seed in the AFC, and they'll get that bye and all that. So this game has huge implications. How do you see this game playing out?
Well, everybody in the world is ticked off that New England is good again. Everyone is ticked off that Bill Belichick has found a quarterback that's very close to what Tom Brady was when he first came to New England. They are playing unbelievable defense. Bill Belichick has done a sensational job. He is proving why he is the greatest coach of all time. What he did in the offseason to reconstruct the defense, to build this offense around Matt Jones to where Matt Jones could step in from day one and have success. This is a phenomenal coaching job by Bill Belichick. Matt Jones should win Rookie of the Year. You're right. This could possibly be for the number 1 seed in that first round bye. I think New England wins, and I don't think it's particularly close. Derrick Henry, of course, is out. Tennessee just lost to Houston.
I think they were looking ahead, probably.
I guess. Only defense you could give that. But New England is going to just play smash mouth football against everyone. What's really fun is it's Belichick versus Vrabel, and we know the backstory there. But I don't know if it's going to be close. I'll tell you what it is. I think it's going to be – the score is going to feel close, I guess, or look close, but it's not going to feel close, because last week the Patriots were up, 13-0 on Atlanta, and it felt like 30-0.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be similar to that. I think we're going to have New England's going to be up by 10 or 14, but it's going to feel like they're up by 27. But I think the Patriots are going to win just because of their defense. I don't think Tennessee gets to 14 points. I really don't. This New England defense is the best in the league.
Yeah, I was going really back and forth on this game because it's so close, but Tennessee losing to the Texans yesterday, that was very concerning. I didn't think the Texans were going to win another game this year. And when I saw that,
should you have thought that?
And when I saw they were up 12-0, I thought it was an error on the screen or something like that. And I agree with you. I had Tennessee at first, but I'm going to flip my pick and go with the Patriots. It's in New England, and I think the Patriots are going to play smash mouth football and let Mac Jones play action off of that and go to his tight ends, Smith and Hunter.
Yep.
And I think Tannehill and that offense will have a hard time against that Patriots defense. That was the main reason why I'm flipping my pick. So I got the Patriots.
Plus, we know how good Belichick is off a bye, right? And they're basically coming off a mini bye
Oh yeah,
because
10
they played
days.
on Thursday.
Yeah, 10. Ooh, so good luck, Tennessee. I wouldn't be surprised if they get the doors blown off them, like you said, because the Patriots are probably going to try to run for 200 yards on this Titans defense. So, yeah. Next, we have the Philadelphia Eagles visiting the New York Giants. This is the divisional rival, so these two teams don't like each other very much. I don't do this often on this show, but I'm gonna take the Philadelphia Eagles. They've looked really good the last couple weeks. They've started to let Jalen Hurts run the ball a lot more, and they just pounded the Saints yesterday. And I think they'll try to keep this formula going. Seem like they found themselves on defense. So like I said, I don't pick the Eagles often. It's hard for me even saying that word on this show. But yeah, Philly, the way they're starting to run the ball finally, and their defense is playing much better. I think they go to New York and get a huge win. And now we see why it's very crucial that the Cowboys win, because Philly's starting to, creep up on them a little bit. So I got Philly here. How about you, bro?
Yeah, I think Philly's going to win. And I don't count Philadelphia out from making the playoffs because, and I know that sounds a little crazy, when you look at their schedule is very soft from here on out. So don't count them out from making the playoffs here if they can win the majority of these games. And I think they will win this Sunday. The Giants, Joe Judge is a joke of a coach. Just is. So I'm going to take the Eagles to win. Sorry.
Oh, I feel the same way. Really quickly, like you said, it's a log jam for that 7th seed in the NFC. It's a bunch of teams right there together, so it's going to be really interesting to see who gets that 7th seed. I think the 5th seed or probably and 6th seed, I think we've already know who those teams are, but that 7th seed, it's going to be really competitive to get that one. There'll be one of the more brutal games to watch. I feel bad for the two franchises that their fan base is watching this game, but the Atlanta Falcons playing the Jacksonville Jaguars. I really wasn't sure who was going to win this game. I just took Jackson. I took Jacksonville. They're at home. I don't know if Cordell Patterson is going to play for Atlanta. They don't seem to be the same team without him, because he was a lot of their offense. They lined him up everywhere and just gave him the ball and got out the way. Cal Pitts probably will have a big day because I don't think the Jaguars secondary is that good. But Atlanta's look really horrible. So I'm taking Jacksonville at home, but I'm not confident about that one.
This game is so horrible. I'm walking out. Could watch this game. No one.
I don't think nobody will.
No one in their right mind should watch this game. You should do exactly what I just did and what I want to do again. You should ask Keith McBride up here why he's even talking about this game. It's a waste of time. I don't care who wins this game. I hope it ends in a tie because neither one of them are good enough to be a winner. That's all I've got to say. That's all I've got to say.
Well, we go from bad to worse. Now we have the Jets and the Texans. I don't know what the NFL was doing, scheduling these on the same weekend. I got Houston here. The Jets, I mean, they look pretty decent against the Dolphins yesterday. Elijah Moore will probably have a big day against his Texans secondary. But I think Houston here we go. They may win another one. This probably hurt their draft. Well, I don't think they have the draft picks, so that doesn't help them because they need a lot of draft picks. But yeah, Houston here.
No, you know what's sad? You know what's sad? Both of these teams have beaten the Titans. The Jets and the Texans have both beaten the Titans. That should disqualify the Titans from anything. I don't know. I'm going to take the Texans, but I don't know, and I don't really know if I care.
I'll leave it there because we don't need to spend too much time on either one of those games. I have the Los Angeles Chargers visiting the Denver Broncos. Denver, they're so up and down. I don't know which Denver team I'm gonna get. I think Justin Herbert and this Chargers team, I know they'll want to stay in contention for the division. So you got to go handle business on the road at Denver. Denver's too up and down for me to pick them. When I pick them, they usually make me regret it when I look at the score. So I'm going with the Chargers. I have no faith in Denver at all.
Justin Herbert, over the top. Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, Austin Eckler on the ground. Chargers by a bunch.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. This may be a really good 4:00 game. The Los Angeles Rams are going to the Green Bay Packers. I wanted to take the Rams so bad, but they haven't looked good lately. I know they'll be much better coming off a bye, but I just don't have enough faith in them to go to Green Bay and beat Green Bay. Yeah, give me Green Bay.
Yeah, this is the game that I'll be doing on Sunday on USRN. Looking forward to it. This is the first time I'll have the Rams this year, I think. I think. Either way, has Odell ruined the team already? It kind of looked like he did the last time they played. So, let's see if he's ruined it. Green Bay lost yesterday. Who saw that coming?
I did not.
Who saw the Vikings winning a game on a field goal late? Like a clutch field goal from the Vikings? Are you serious? It never happens. Give credit, though, to Kirk Cousins and the Vikings on what they're doing. Kirk Cousins has not thrown an interception in forever. He's gone 5-6 straight weeks without an interception. Dalvin Cook is Dalvin Cook. Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen. It's a pretty solid team. They should have a better record than what they have.
They should.
So Vikings are pretty good. Packers, I don't know. I just don't know if I still trust Green Bay to win the big games. And I've kind of been on that bus for a couple of years now. But I do think they win this one. There's just something about the Rams, and I don't know if it's all on Odell, but it's just something about the Rams that all of a sudden a lot of people, including myself, are falling out of love with them. I'm going to take the Packers in what will hopefully be a close game.
Yeah, I think this could be a shootout because both teams have explosive offenses. So I hope we get a good 4:00 game here. Our other 4:00 game on Fox is the Minnesota Vikings visiting the San Francisco 49ers. This could be an elimination game for that 7th seed. How do you see this one playing out?
Well, to the point that I just made, Kirk Cousins hasn't thrown an interception in forever. Alvin Cook's really good. Justin Jefferson is spectacular. Thielen is still really good. I like this Minnesota team. Now, every time I say that I like this Minnesota team, then they go on and lose. So maybe that's an omen, but I'm going to take Minnesota to win. I really like the makeup of that Vikings team. Just if they can get in, they could do some damage, but they got to get in first. I think they'll take a big step in that winning on Sunday.
I think I'm going to regret doing this, but oh, Jesus. Putting my faith in Jimmy Garoppolo. Not something I want to do often. But I think this game may take 2 hours because both teams are going to run the ball. So I think the 49ers are going to lean on their run game, get Deebo Samuel involved, get him the ball, running the ball, throwing it to him, whatever it takes. I'm gonna take the 49ers at home. They haven't been great at home, 1-4. But
Jeez.
I think they need to win a game at home. Their fans probably are sick of them losing at home. And I'm gonna take the 49ers, even though I'll probably regret it Sunday. All right, we got two more here. So our Monday night game next week will be the Seattle Seahawks visiting the Washington football team. Washington has seemingly found themselves on offense. Taylor Heineke's playing better. I think this is a must win for Seattle. I'm probably gonna regret this one too. um, but I think Seattle they're gonna be desperate for a win. I can't tell you the last time they. I think the last time they won was when they beat Jacksonville. That's not saying much. I just think they're gonna be desperate, and I think they really need to win this game because I'm pretty sure they still want to make the playoffs, even though I think it's a long shot. So I got Seattle here, but I'm probably gonna regret it Monday night, next Monday.
Yeah, this is tough. Russell Wilson doesn't look good, and the finger I don't think is healed.
I
And
think he
I
rushed back.
think, yeah, I think whoever made that decision, whether it was him, whether it was the team, whoever, it was just a rushed decision, like you said. Uh, no, I think Washington's going to win. They have found themselves a little bit, and they've gotten better on defense. Remember, defense is what they were so good at last year, and then they started out this year. They were horrible. They've lost Montez Sweat and they've lost Chase Young, but suddenly they look closer to what they were last year. I think Washington's actually going to win this game. Uh, I just don't see it with Seattle right now. The Seattle can't score. They didn't
Yeah.
score against Green Bay. They barely scored against Arizona.
Mm.
Yeah, I just don't. I don't think they can score enough to win this game. Taylor Heineke's, by the way, looking really good here lately.
He really is. He's got some swag. The last time I picked San Francisco and Seattle together, it didn't go so well for me. So hopefully they don't let me down this week. And our game of the week is going to be the Cleveland Browns visiting the Baltimore Ravens. This would be a good Sunday night game. I know Baker usually plays the Ravens really good, at least once a year, but Baker's so beat up. I really wanted to pick the Browns because they really need a win, but I just can't. Whether Lamar Jackson is able to come back or not, I think Baltimore is going to be able to do enough. Baker's hobbled. They'll probably lean on Nick Chubb, and that running game because of Baker being so hobbled. But I just think Baltimore, they're the more complete team here.
Sounds like it's sounding pretty good that Lamar will play. He said that he felt really good. So I get the feeling Lamar will play. The Browns, they just so many injuries. I mean, multiple injuries to Baker and then Chubb and then Hunt and the Odell mess. They're probably a better team now that Odell has left, but it's getting awfully close to a lost season. And I don't think Baker's healthy by a long shot.
I don't know.
And I think the Ravens win this game. Hopefully Cleveland can give them a fight. I'm hoping they will. And I think it'll be a pretty close game. I don't think it'll be a blowout, but I am taking Baltimore.
Yeah, it's a divisional game, so the Browns will probably get up for this game. But like you said, they just have so many injuries. If Baker's healthy, I probably would have took the Browns. But Lord, Baker, he's trying to keep playing. It's a contract year. He's trying to get that money. I think they needed to sit him down. But Baker probably wouldn't let him sit him down.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you for joining the show, bro. I know you have a busy schedule. You're getting ready to go call the Monday night game. So I appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule and joining me on the show today.
Well, absolutely. Thank you for asking me. Ton of fun as always.
Yes,
If I
sir.
can, I'd like to say one thing before we leave. Just a shout out. Dick Vitale is coming back, folks. He is
Yes,
back
sir.
calling college basketball this week. He will tomorrow be on ESPN for number 1 Gonzaga against number 2 UCLA, the rematch of the Final Four epic from March. We love Dick Vitale, the life, the heart of college basketball. We're so happy to have him back. Can't wait to hear him tomorrow night on what will be a fantastic game with Gonzaga and UCLA. So God bless Dickie V. Dickie V is back, baby. Can't wait.
Yes, I cannot wait. Who's calling the game with him?
I think it'll probably be Schulman. I would expect those two will probably be on UCLA and Gonzaga Tuesday. It's in Las Vegas, and then in Las Vegas on Thursday they'll probably do Gonzaga and Duke.
Wait, is that Friday or Thursday? 'Cause I think it's Friday.
It's the day after Thanksgiving. So yeah, Friday. You're right.
Oh, yes. Gonzaga's got 2 big tests this week.
Oh boy, do they ever!
I'm glad they're playing somebody instead of these community colleges they've been beating up on. So yeah, I also agree. I'm so happy Dickie V is much better and he's able to call some games this week. I'm so excited.
Love Dickie V. Love Dickie V. The heart of college basketball.
I can't wait to watch that tomorrow. That's probably gonna be the main reason I'm watching, besides, number 1 versus number 2. So can't wait for that tomorrow.